Last time I saw you, we were giving out hopeful baseball winners, Derek. I like the live stuff a lot better myself. Winners. Thursday night football. Like it? Moving on. We got 3 games. Sunday night's a big one, and then the double Monday, and then things will settle down going forward. But good day to everybody there. Good day to everybody in the chat. This is NFL Prop Picks powered by the Blitz on Covers. Releases, live releases. And happy that the show went well on that was for the Wednesday for the Thursday night game, and then the Sunday night, Monday night games will be here Friday, 2:15. How's the board looking, bud?
It's actually looking pretty good. We have 3 games. I had 5 plays between them. One of them's moved enough that it's a lean now, but we still have a number of good ones.
I am all in on the first Monday night play that we'll get to, which is that number's bananas. I'm going to lead with that, but the Sunday night game's here. Let's go. Bills, Ravens, Baltimore -2.5 point favorites at home, over under sitting at 46.5. Possibly the worst weather game of the bunch this week. Got leans. We got plays. We are at FanDuel still. Yes, sir. Producer Mick on the buttons Friday afternoon. If you see a -114 prop line, then you know it's at FanDuel. Receiving props. Number still there. Price still there. All right, release 1. Let's go. Mac Hollins. Under 15.5 receiving yards, -114. Mac Hollins, under 15.5 receiving yards, -114. They like Mac, but they like Mac as a blocker. He's an interesting guy. If you ever see any content with him, you should probably check him out because he's like the Dos Equis guy. He walks barefoot everywhere he goes. He's the strangest human being, but he doesn't get anything. He's 17, 13, 24 routes ran so far in 3 straight games. 5 targets and 3 receptions. Last week, nope, over the season. His only catch last week was when Buffalo was up 37-10. And I think a lot of what we've seen with Buffalo hasn't kind of been priced into these props because going into the season, you touched on it very early, Derek. Buffalo's going to run the ball. And we haven't even seen that full-fledged Buffalo run game because they were in trail mode in week 1, blowout week 2, blowout week 3. They're slow, and they want to run the ball. What do you like about this Hollins here, other than all that?
Basically all that. I like that Buffalo has a reputation as a pass-heavy team, but isn't anymore. I like that Mac Hollins, he's on the field a lot. He's out there running a route on 3/4 of the dropbacks. But like you said, they like him because of his blocking ability as a receiver. He only has 6% of the targets. There's some ugly weather potentially in this game with some rain in the forecast. Second slowest pace game of the week, especially because Baltimore plays so slow. So this is a spot where we're looking at some pretty solid edge.
Yeah, that's a tough beat there. Chad Martin in the chat saying he had the under 15.5 last week. He hit 1 catch for 16 yards. Like I said, right at the start of the second half, his only catch of the game, I believe. 2 targets, 1 catch for Mac Hollins there. A game that, like you said, expect to run. I like James Cook in this game because we haven't seen what James Cook is. His carries has taken some money within that game. But I also think Buffalo came out pass heavy in week 3, and that looked more scripted than anything else, right? Like there's a difference between how they settle in versus how Joe Brady scripts early stuff, and it might not be scripted that way this week.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's also worth noting too that Curtis Samuel really has not been playing much, and he was a guy they hyped up all offseason, dealt with an injury right towards the start of the year. It's possible at some point that Samuel just starts playing a bunch more, and Holland sees some more of the bench. Last week, Keon Coleman started the week on the bench as a disciplinary thing. Like there are paths to Mac Hollins not even getting that 75%, snap rate, route rate kind of thing that he's been getting, which would be even worse for him.
Play number 2, Sunday Night Football. It's a lean.
Only because the
lean.
stupid market moved on it.
Did it move? Okay. Let's go to Caesars. I didn't even know they had a desktop site anymore. But let's go.
They do.
Oh, interesting. Let's go rushing props. Let's go carries. -108. Still there. All right, Josh Allen, under 6.5 carries, -108. Releasing this here at Caesars. Derek, remember when we got 9.5 2 weeks ago and that closed at 7.5, and now everything's still trending to the under?
Yeah, I do. That was such a slam dunk bet a couple weeks ago. This week he opened at 7.5 at most books, and there was a 7.5, 2 7.5s, I think, out there this morning. There are none left. They're all 6.5s. I think this is our best number. Although Yahtzee saying Fliff has even money, so if you have Fliff, then that works. But yeah, Josh Allen. Again, we said this is going to be a slow-paced game. They haven't given him a single designed run outside the red zone all year. I mean, he's going to scramble. The weather's, if it is an ugly weather game, like that could lead to some more scrambles. But all in all, like he's not getting the designed work he used to. And, he projects for about 5.5 here. So we're getting a full carry under, close to even money. Like it's all right. So that's actually really interesting. The odds says he's seen a lot of public money betting the over because
the market's going the other way.
The market's going the other way.
Yeah. You really don't want to be on that side. I know that like there's an argument, and the more you bet, the more I have an argument like closely line value doesn't mean as much. It does. Like you still want to be on the right side of the market. I get it. But you don't want to be on the other side, right? You don't want to you never want to end up with a worse number.
Yeah, no, you don't.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think there's any chance this is going back to 7.5.
Fanatics just went 110 to 105. Think they went the wrong way. Yeah, no, it's trending down. So those are good numbers there as well. But I mean, a lot of that had to do with his week 1. Hurt himself. 9 carries, week 1. Hero, Josh Allen. Guess what? If this offense doesn't have Josh Allen and is running out Mac Hollins and Curtis Samuel out there, right? Like that's why Josh Allen, I think, was the best bet for MVP going into the season. Did I bet him? No, because I didn't like the 9-1 or 8-1, which it was. But his supporting cast isn't great. If they're going to win, it's going to be on the backs of Josh Allen. And he put himself in danger in week 1, jumping in the end zone like a week 1 very.
I think Josh froze, unless I froze and you can't hear me.
There goes me internet, bud. Me internet's kicking out. I'm back.
All right, you're back. We got
all my bandwidth with all the shows this morning. Third show, we're running out. My data plan's running out. But again, and then this is another spot you always hear us talk about it. Kneel down equity. He's a dog in this game, right? So I would assume there's less kneel down equity within this.
Yeah, less kneel down equity in a game where it's going to be closer, where they might potentially lose, which is not the norm for Buffalo. I mean, normally he's going to have more touchdown equity or kneel down equity than he will have in this game. So that's in the projection too.
Awesome. Yahtzee asking, where's the buy point if it stays at 6.5?
I mean, assuming
where were you on the play?
I was on the play at
7.5.
But if I were to get a 6.5 at like probably even money plus 105, I think that's probably around where I flip it to a play.
Beauty. Okay, there we go. Lots of stuff out there, lots of places. Classic frozen face. Oh, Josh, classic frozen face. Boom. Sunday Night Football in the books. Mac Hollins under 15.5 receiving yards, -114 released. Josh Allen under 6.5 carries, -108 released. My play of that game. I know no one cares. Just kidding. I know you want it. 75 total yards for James Cook at -115. That's where I am. I needed to bet an over because of the commercial content we have to pump out, but I don't think we've seen the full fledged of James Cook this year yet, right? He's been getting shifts off in those last 2 weeks. So look more to those 18, 19 carry workload, hopefully, that you saw in week 1. Tennessee and Miami. The worst game of the week at 36.5 total. We don't even know who's quarterback for Miami. Tennessee probably shouldn't even be starting their quarterback. It's just an ugly situation. 36.5, possible rain. That's going to make it amazing with two great quarterbacks. Miami, somehow a favorite, 1-point favorite, basically a pick 'em, I would assume. Awesome info. Yeah, just played Josh Allen under 6.5 carries, even 365. There you go. That's the price. This is my favorite play of basically the week. I 2-united this quickly using your number, so let's get to it. We are at MGM. Oh. How was a Conquo bigger? Doesn't make sense. Let's go. Josh Wiley, over 7.5 receiving yards. -110. Please give me Josh Wiley reception markets, right? Like, because they don't know how to price them properly, like, and it's so small, like the difference between 1 and 3 could be plus 450.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely want some receptions markets for him. For now, this is what we have, and I'm taking it. The big name, obviously, tight end for Tennessee is Okonkwo. Like last year, he was really good. Nobody really knew who Wiley was. But Wiley is out there running, I mean, almost as many snaps, almost as many routes as Okonkwo is. And that's basically what they said they were going to do in the offseason. Last week, Okonkwo got 51% of the routes run, and Wiley got 40%. You know, he can get this on one catch, and this is a situation where I think this is just a low number because people are like, who is Josh Wiley? But Josh Wiley is part of a very real tight end committee in Tennessee, which is a team that's very pass heavy. So I like this one.
All right. Everyone's getting excited there in the chat. 8.5 on Paperhead. What's the margin here? I know right off the bat that your projection's 19.8 or something yards here on the spot. No?
It is, yeah. When you look at the distributions, though, the implied projection is more than 7.5. It's like 13. So really, we're looking at like 6 yards or so, effectively above the line, which isn't massive, but it's definitely there. It's like a 2/3 winner. It projects as, yeah. So I like this one. We don't have, I don't think, any Miami props out yet because we don't know who the quarterback is. So might be adding some for this game throughout the weekend on social as we go. But for now, this was the only one that I really saw for this game that I liked.
Yep. 4 catches, 43 yards last week on 5 targets. 5 targets was the second most on the team. Went from 12 routes ran to 18 routes ran week 2 to week 3. Obviously bumping up that timeshare, and that 5.4 yard ADOT is just small enough to whoever's throwing him the ball. Doesn't really matter, right? He could be a safety blanket. I love these tight ends in spots where if it's raining, this could be a heavily targeted guy. This guy could be 20% target share in a game that hopefully has neutral game script. Have you seen the Miami injuries also at corner? They're pretty excessive. I know the corners aren't technically defending them, but like cluster injuries hurt everything else. So this is how it shapes out. Jalen Ramsey's there. Okay, sure. Opposite Jalen Ramsey, Miami might be down to a 3rd string in Ethan Bonner. Kendall Fuller, DNP Thursday concussion. Backup Siren Neal, DNP Thursday hamstring. And this is a real name, the backup to Jalen Ramsey on the depth chart is Storm Duck. That is a real name. His name is Storm Duck.
Name.
And he exited last week too. He was limited practice on Thursday, but he exited too. And that's on top of Miami already having another corner and another safety on the IR. So there is depth issues for that team that came into the season with depth issues because they lost another starting corner in Xavier Howard, I believe. Reed Phillips is a man after my own heart. Milestone 25 yards for 475. Yes, that's exactly where I went. That's the only alt that you can get on Wiley right now. And I have put that in monster parlays for a lot of stuff. 251 parlays just to cap off Monday night. So Josh Wiley could be paying the bills if something happens well. And that's one of my favorite bets by far. And I wouldn't have been able to find it without Derek's numbers, as I wouldn't have been searching for Josh Wiley props, right? Like it's one of those that just you search and you're like, oh, wow, this one looks great. Seattle, Detroit, minus 3.5, total 46.5. Kenneth Walker possibly back. Let's go. We are at MGM for release number 4. Let's go quarterback. Number there. Minus 115. Geno Smith. Numbers there. Over 240.5. Passing yards. Minus 115. This is a play. When he says play, I'm assuming that it's got to be at least like 40 to like somewhere in that range of over on the projection in this spot. Pretty simple thing. I'm just assuming, there's an indoor bump here for a QB who predominantly plays outdoors.
That is a huge part of it. He's indoors. This projects as the second fastest paced game of the week. Geno's good. He's in a better system than he's pretty much ever been in this year. They've actually been more pass heavy than expected. They kind of said coming into the year, oh, we're going to be a run heavy team. They've been pretty pass heavy through 3 weeks. So some extra upside based on that. He's got great receivers to throw to. It's a low number for Geno Smith. The Blitz is projecting about 280 here. So we're definitely in play territory.
280. So there's the 40 yards. So learn the difference between the plays and the leans. When he's talking quarterback stuff, plays, like I said, 40 to 50 yards. Anything else is somewhere in like the 25. Like Derek's not throwing out leans where it's like, it's 240.5 and the projection's at 247. No, there's a significant distance between it. It's not, are we worried about their O-line?
Not enough to take me off of this.
Sure. But in the same sense, here's a weird one. I think I brought it up a long time ago with you. Bad O-lines create bad O-lines create more passing opportunities.
Yeah, teams are, I think, more scared to run with a bad O-line than they are to pass with one. You never
penalties,
want
like you saw the Dallas game, right? Like early first down, running, penalty. Now you're 1st and 20. Guess what you're doing?
Yeah.
And now you create more yards because now you're like 10 yards out of nowhere. Trevor Lawrence overpassing. Cheeseburger Eddie, you know the answer to that. You know Derek's already on everything about Lawrence this week.
Yes, I bet that very early in the week. I'm on the Trevor Lawrence over. He's not on one of these island games, but if you haven't bet the Trevor Lawrence over yet, that is very much a Blitz-approved play.
Yeah. All right. Producer Mick putting in overtime hours here. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you guys on the bat shows. Before you bet, appreciate everybody there going, but we're not done. Play 5. FanDuel. Same game, Seattle, Detroit. Let's go receiving props. Still got our 3.5, 144. Is that plus? Yeah. All right, let's go. A little plus money action on Jameson Williams on the over. 3.5 receptions plus 144. That is a big number. I don't bet a lot at FanDuel. I'm interested to see. I'm assuming that's got to be their high point in terms of before something flips. That's their flip number.
I would have to think. You don't normally see them that high at FanDuel that I've ever really noticed. But yeah, this one's good. I don't think a lot of books are offering this one yet. Maybe I would imagine because of the status of Laporta. And that's part of the reason why I'm betting this, because Laporta seems like truly questionable. Like he might play, he might not play. Right now I'm projecting Laporta in, and I'm projecting Williams for 3.7 receptions. So already we're getting like a 50-50 play at plus 144. And if Laporta were to not play, this becomes crazy value because it just opens up so many targets. Jameson Williams has been really good this year after they hyped him up all off season. Indoors, home, super fast-paced game. The target share has been there. They did say, we start to like Tim Patrick. We're gonna play him more, and that's gonna come out of Khalif Raymond and Jameson Williams snaps. Last week they did play Tim Patrick more. It came all out of Raymond. Didn't really impact Williams at all. Yeah, this one looks good to me. Just as it's projected now, it projects well, and the upside if we get the Laporta news is massive.
Laporta did return to practice for the Friday, but there's still question marks about what it is. Obviously, it's the Monday night game. Ragnow. Who's Ragnow? I won't touch it. I don't know what it is, but I won't touch it. It could be serious. But let's be honest too. Like, do we really know what this Seattle Seahawks defense is going into week 4 that might have had the easiest offensive opponents so far? Week 1, Bo Nix, first game at home at Lumen. That's about as tough as it gets for a rookie quarterback. Week 2, Jacoby Brissett, overtime game, right? And then week 3, Skylar Thompson. So we don't really know what this is. So could be interesting. I like the Seahawks. I like them, but it will be a test to see where we are in the veg of where Mike McDonald lies in at Coach of the Year odds, where these guys lie within the division, because I get a lot of pieces of a lot of that. But Jameson Williams, let's go. Big plus money. Any value on the yardage there, maybe from Crazy Carl?
So I'm looking at that because the yardage is more widely available. Most books have it up. Lines are 41.5 to 44.5. Blitz is projecting 50. You're getting like -110, -115 on it all. So really not showing much value there. Just very, very minor value. But again, if Laporte is out, then it becomes, more valuable. But I definitely like that receptions one more than I like the yardage for Williams.
Love receptions. Love rush attempts. Producer Mick, I'm going to ask you one thing. Whatever book you have open, please go to the Vegas game. Let's see if something's there. Plus 145.
Devontae Adams ruled out is pretty surprising.
Yeah, that's why. Let's especially in this game too. Do we know if it's AOC or
it's going to be
Minshew
starting, but it seems like there's a real chance that AOC comes in. I actually took Minshew under complete a few days ago, and that feels nice right now.
Anybody there in the chat with any book open with anything available for Raiders numbers? Ooh, Tucker. Nice. What did I get for Tucker? Oh, I have shares of Tucker. I have Trey Tucker over 0.5 rushing yards for plus 375.
Yeah, Trey Tucker props, when they come up, they could wind up being nice.
There you go. Bowers 41.5 at MGM still up. Thank you, Andrew.
Oh.
Yeah, it could be Trey Tucker season, and I need him to get some rushing yards. It was interesting. I think he rushed in 70% of his games last year, and when Antonio Pierce took over, he just had the one. Like, he's the fastest guy. They kind of give it. And Zamir White, let's be honest, that rush game has been dog shit. Regardless of how much Tony Pierce wants to shout from his podium and say, we need to get Zamir White the ball. Well, you can't, because you don't get first downs when he runs early.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. Tucker over 2.5 receptions plus 125 at Bet Rivers. Ooh, Minshew unders looking even better. There's another great angle because he might not finish the first half.
Yeah, I took the Minshew under for that reason a couple days ago, and now with Devontae out, that's even better. But yeah, if there's Trey Tucker overs or Bauer overs right now, I mean, Adams gets a third of the targets in this offense, basically. Like, there's a lot more to go around to everybody else.
Massive implications on the live stream. We don't get this when we just do the video, so that's awesome. Like to see the chat helping each other out there. But let's do a quick recap with producer Mick helping me along the way. Matt Collins, no shoes, no problem. Under 15.5 receiving yards, minus 114 play. Josh Allen, under 6.5 carries, minus 108 lean. Closer to play area around that even money mark. Was 7.5. Don't know why. Don't be like the betting public who hit the 7.5 and it went to 6. And you're like, oh, okay, the over's not that side. Then we go to the ugly game. But hey, ugly, let's go super ugly with a guy that people don't even know. This is probably the first time his prop's been available. Josh Wiley over 7.5 receiving yards. I wonder what 8 catches would pay for Josh Wiley. I don't think you'd ever get a number on that. But hey, minus 110. Absolutely love that. I love the 25 plus too. Geno Smith over 240.5 in Detroit indoors. That's a play, minus 115. And then the Jameson Williams over 3.5 at plus 144. Also a play. Rivers gone. I hope Yahtzee you got it there. Hit that like button, subscribe. I think that's it for content today. There could be more videos coming out. Been a run. Lots of action today. Covers just throwing content at you, but that's the football world. So appreciate it, Derek. I enjoyed this format a lot more than the other format. Deborah, what is that? Ian Money. Don't you shout my wife's name on air there, Chad. I don't trust you. I don't trust anybody, Chad. I do trust Andrew Brennan. FanDuel relisted Tucker at 27.5 yards from 24 and then pulled it again. Risk management at its best. Devontae Adams go. We need to change the number. 24 to 27, boss. Yeah, that should do it. Against a very good run defense. So, okay, so Dan's talking about Buffalo will be more pass heavy against a very good run defense. That looks great on paper. Yes, run defense looks great. Well, guess what? Vegas is like the worst run team in all of football. We know that. Dallas. We saw Dallas last night. Guess what Dallas can't do? Run the football. I think a lot of that Dallas defense, rush defense, and where they stand in success rate and EPA per rush has been predicated on strength of opponent, and it's been pretty poor. So another test we'll see, is Buffalo's rush defense real? Because, all right, there it is, FD, there, 48. Hey, boss, we need to change Bowers, 48 to 50. All right, put him at 52. Boss, we're taking more action. We're taking more action out of him. All right. Then pulled it. All right. So keep an eye on that. I do like Trey. I know everyone wants to go for Bowers probably, but I'm a big Trey fan this week, so that's where I am.
Yeah, I think they're both going to have some good value at whatever their numbers were, but Tucker especially, I'm really like. I think he's going to get the biggest boost probably of anybody.
Tucker probably better to go yards with his average depth of target, I would assume, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's really going to depend on what the lines settle at. I mean, once the books see what's going on and pull them all down and then, recalibrate and put them all back up.
All the news trickling out right now, Friday, right? Like Friday injury report stuff, everything coming out. Debo, real chance to play. I mean, if there was ever a week to bet against Juan Jennings after 147 yards or whatever he had last week, this is probably it.
Did we get a report that Debo might play? Because it seemed like he was not going to.
But in that same sense, I mean, they're a 10-point favorite. Are they really going to be doing a lot of passing late too? Which is why the Jennings under would be a better spot. 27 minus 108 at FanDuel. Okay, well done, Andrew. Yes, you're telling me no Adams is only worth 3 yards to him. No, that is incorrect, as Derek pointed out. One of the biggest target shares in all of football. Per John Lynch. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Reliable source, John Lynch. Okay, coming from the locker room himself. John Lynch looks a lot better than. Oh, why I've lost my dang mind. Denver's old Denver quarterback who's Friday. I've lost my damn mind here. Help me out, chat. Looks like an absolute skeleton. Thank you. Covers John Elway. I don't know why I had John Elway and John Lynch compared to me, but John Elway. Whew. Had some work done. John Lynch looking great though. Great safety. Let's go. Plays in. Good luck with everybody chasing those injury reports. Friday's in the books. Too much talking for Josh. Let's wrap it up. I'm Josh Ingles. Tim Tebow. Thank you. Yes, that's who I was talking about. No. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. This is NFL Prop Picks powered by the Blitz. Prime time. Let's go. See you back here Wednesday next week.